Well, here we are at the Great Pumpkin Car Show. This is episode number 4, right?
Yes, it is. Number 4.
With a few missing years in between there because of various and sundry reasons.
Exactly, yes.
Eventually we'll be able to call it annual again, I hope.
Absolutely. That's my hope.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering about this year because, you know, most folks know you were on some medical leave earlier. And I thought to myself, how is she going to organize this thing if she's on a medical leave and not getting around anywhere?
Yeah.
But you still managed. How did you do it?
We still manage, and I'll tell you, I have a large network of people who really stepped up to help me through that with passing out flyers and getting the message out. And so I'm very, very grateful with everybody.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of familiar faces that were helping out in other places, so it was good to see them too.
Yes. Like I said, everybody pulled together to help me out with this, and I am, from the bottom of my heart, so gratified for that help, because I don't know if it would turn out this good if I had just not been able to have that network in place.
Now, I got to ask you a couple of questions that don't have anything to do with the show here today.
Okay.
Number one, Whitman town meeting, the special town meeting that was supposed to happen. What happened there? I mean, didn't you... I would think people would have gotten the word by then, but...
Yeah, so it was Hanson that we weren't able to have our special town meeting, but we had it on a Facebook page, we had it on the board, it was talked about in many meetings, it was in the Whitman Hanson Express. So I don't know, maybe that night came along and the weather was not great, so people just didn't come out, but it was disappointing. We only needed 12 more people to come. But we've got it rescheduled for November 9th, and hopefully we'll see a quorum that night so we can get the necessary business done that the Hanson needs to get done.
It kind of reminds me of a couple times back in the old Whitman days when Frank would get up on live TV and say, "Come to the meeting, we need a quorum."
We did that. We were calling people, and even the town moderator, Sean Keeley, said, if you know, get on the phone and call your friends, call your family, have them come down. But yeah, it just didn't happen this round, but hopefully in November we'll get people there.
Okay, well, Whitman they put off theirs even ahead of time before, so... And I don't remember if they've got that rescheduled yet anyway.
I think they're working on it.
Yeah. Anyhow, how are things going other than that? I mean, you are the town manager or administrator.
Yeah.
Thank you for correcting me. I knew I had it wrong as soon as it was coming out of my mouth. How are things going for you over in Hanson as administrator?
It's going fantastic. We had a new executive assistant start while I was out. Her name is Lynn McDowell. She's wonderful. And it's really done a lot for our office to have her in. And we're going in a great direction. We have an intern from Bridgewater State College that's also helping out in our office. And it's going in a great direction. And we're hoping to get that third person part-time in my office. Because with 3 people in there, we can get so much more accomplished than just having the 2 people. With 2 people, we're constantly trying to keep up. But when we have 3 people there, we're going to be ahead of the game. So communication will improve, and a lot of things that people have seen fall short will get much better if we can get that third person in my office.
Well, I was just thinking, with the 2 people, you're up to here in paperwork.
Yes.
When you get the third one, it'll start going down.
Absolutely. The third person allows us to focus on the things that because everything you have to read, you have to understand, sometimes you have to research, and then you have to write. And that all takes time, because when you rush through reading, writing, sometimes errors happen, typos happen, and you don't want to produce that kind of work. I pride myself in doing very good work. So I want to make sure when everything goes out the door that every I is crossed and every T is dotted, every I is dotted and every T is crossed the best I can. But when you've constantly got people who are expecting this right now, it's very hard to do that. So again, that's another goal, is that we can get all of this information out that is grammatically correct and there's no errors in it as soon as possible, and we can concentrate on the grants. Fortunately, we have not lost any grant opportunities because we've met all the deadlines. But if you're focusing on that one thing, unfortunately, these other areas are getting shifted to the bottom. And we don't want to see that happen. We want all areas to be at the top. And with 3 people, everything can stay at the top.
Okay, now we can get back to the fun stuff again. I had to get that out of my head.
Sure, yeah.
And you've got your roller skates back here today.
Yes, I do. I do. I've got my scooter that my 81-year-old dad let me borrow because my walking is limited, but it's working out great. The weather is spectacular, spooktacular.
I was thinking of the white twins that are your roller skates over here.
Yes, my two bad boys over here, yes, that are fighting over something.
Yeah. Now, when you told me about this, because you told me you were dressing them up, and I was having visions of, something like the Dr. Dolittle push me, pull you.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll save that surprise for you when we get to the cars and talk to her about her cars. Yeah. Thank you, Lisa, for letting me start off the show here with you and get this information out.
Absolutely. I mean, this is our 4th show this year, and it continues to grow. We started it at the Whitman Middle School, and we outgrew that. We had it at McQuon Elementary School last year, and we outgrew that. So we're now up here at Whitman Hanson Regional High School, and we have got 2 full lots of cars. So I haven't got an exact number, but it's over 200. And there's a large crowd walking around. There's a lot of kids here having a great time. And again, this weather is spooktacular. Not a cloud in the sky. Can't get anything better than that for this type of event.
And it's also nice and cool. It's not too hot, so people aren't going to be drifting in and out quickly like they have in some years when it was really warm.
Right. This is a day where everybody is hanging out. They're having a great time. They're chatting with friends and family, and they're just enjoying the atmosphere around here. It's really amazing, and people love looking at all of these really cool cars. And we get some cars that have pretty cool Halloween displays as well. So it's a lot for people to come out. And if you're still looking for something to do today, we're here until they start giving out trophies at 2 o'clock, so please come on down and come and enjoy some classic cars, some great food, and some great entertainment.
Oh, if we were only doing this live.
I know it, right? Oh, that's right.
And the music is wonderful, too. I mean, I don't know where this band came from, but they have kind of like got their own style going on. And it's really nice. There's a little jazz, a little rock and roll, a little blues, a little bit of everything thrown in there, all in the same song.
Yes, exactly. So we have 2 bands here today. The one band is Sea Witch, and the other band is Obscured Notations. And that is a jazz band, and then the Sea Witch band is a general music type of band. But the lead singer for that band is a Hanson resident. Her name is Heather, and she also works for another municipality. So, that's where that connection came, and they're here volunteering their time for Dollars for Scholars, and I think they're having a good time too.
And I've seen Michael Gann's shirt, so we know where some of that money is going anyway, because he wouldn't be here if it weren't. Well, actually, he might, because Michael's one of those kind of guys that just goes to everything anyway, right?
Yeah. Yes, he does, but all of the money here today goes to Dollars for Scholars, all of it. We all volunteer our time, and Dollars for Scholars benefits 100% from this.
That's really great, because that means the more money you make here today, the more they have to give out for scholarships.
Absolutely, and that's what we hope to achieve with every car show that we have, is raising money for Dollars for Scholars.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, Lisa. Now we're going to go see some cars and see what's going on around the rest of the place here. I found a car that's an interesting thing to take a look at. 1956 Chevy Bel Air, right?
That's correct.
And you're Dan Ullman.
Yes.
And the really interesting thing about this car is that louvered hood. What can you tell me about the louvers?
Well, I think I had them done in 1992. And back then they were $1 a piece. And now the same gentleman that does them gets $6 a piece. There's 120 louvers in there, and they didn't come with the louvers. He comes from Walpole, so I had them done back then.
So if you were going to do the same thing again today, would you, with taking into consideration the larger car? Boy, I'm having trouble with my tongue today, aren't I?
Yeah. Yes, I'd do it again. Yeah, because you don't see a lot of vehicles with louvers in them, whether they're in the hood or they're in the side fenders or whatever.
What was the purpose of them?
I think with this one here, I think it lets out some of the hot air in there because that's a high performance motor and it runs pretty hot.
Yeah, and they are angled backwards so that the air coming over the top of the hood would help suck it out.
Yeah, and I don't have to worry too much about the rain because it's the same thing. I just cover it up at night with a hood. If I'm going to leave it outside somewhere, I just cover it up with a top and close the hood. Everything's fine.
So how long have you had the car?
I bought the car in 1989. I bought it off a gentleman down the hummocks, and he has another one, which is a green, black metallic. And he bought this one here for his wife, and it used to be burgundy metallic. And she didn't want to take it to the shows because he says we'd be driving tube, honey. And I didn't want to do that. So that's when I bought it in 1989. And I've had it that long.
And what's it got for an engine in it?
It's got a 63, 327, a little over 400 horse. It's got a cam in it, got solid lifters, stainless steel valves. So it's pretty peppy.
Have you ever raced it?
No. I have had it up the driveway there, but they have a week up there where you can take your cars and just drive around the track. But the trouble with that is you got some crazy people driving around the track. You know what I mean? They don't care about your car.
Yeah.
So I've done that before up the New England dragway, but I don't race it. No, it's not worth it. There's so much you break it, then you got to tow it home and you got to fix it. So
you got to keep your eye on that tack, right?
Oh yeah. It's pretty peppy. I mean, it had a 4-speeder when I bought it, but I got a automatic in there with a shift kit in it. And it can, with the automatic in it can scratch in all 3 gears. So it's pretty peppy.
Well, it's got more pep than I have, that's for sure.
Me too.
Okay, thank you so much, Dan. It's nice to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
Look who I found. Whitman Selectman Dan Salvucci, not to mention the fact that you were also on the school committee over at South Shore Tech.
Yes, I am. Yeah, and this is a great turnout here. We were going to have our car show, but because of the rain, we couldn't have it. So we canceled it. We'll have it next year, hopefully.
Oh, okay, because I had heard maybe from somebody who was going to be involved a little bit in it that it might be being rescheduled. But
Well, that I don't know. Our principal will have to put it together and see if he wants to do it if the weather holds out.
yeah, because this is really kind of the end of the season for all the car shows.
Yes, it is, but look at the turnout. It's the best. I'm glad they have it at the high school. We need more space for all the cars that are entering, never mind the people that are here. It's unbelievable. 100 and something cars here, at least, and the people are just mobbed. I'm working on my paper. I got one more function to go. I mean, I think it's the loudest race car sound. I'm waiting for that to put my number down for that. Other than that, I got my list, and I will turn it in.
Well, I think we got some cars down here that might qualify for finalists on that one.
Yeah, I went down there. I probably got a few on there, but we'll see. I'm kind of reliving my days of the 40s and 50s, looking at these old cars when I was very young. And then in the 60s when I was a teenager and looking at some of these saying, wow, I remember these days.
So do I, because I'm back in that era myself.
There you go. Well, hey, that's the good time.
I think you may have a couple of years on me, but we feel pretty close.
Yeah, next month I'll be 79.
Oh, well, not that far off.
All right, that's good, yeah.
But just far enough so that I can dig you about it when I want to.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Okay, well, you've got your ballot almost filled in now.
Yeah.
And you're going to submit it, and then they'll count everything and award the trophies based on those ballots, right?
I can't wait. I mean, Lisa Green did a great job setting this up with Mike Anschert. He helped, and Michelle Lamartina, I see her running around trying to organize things. Actually, she got me the pen that I could write my list on, right? And they're all doing, everybody all on the committees that are handling and putting the show on did a fantastic job for Dollars for Scholars.
Right. Now, here's a question I have for you.
Go ahead.
fall town meeting. Is there a date set for that yet? Because I know you were going to have it last week, but then things were just going south from there. And
Well, what we'll look at is we're holding a spot in November, middle of November. We'll firm the date once we realize, do we need a town meeting or not? If in fact there's enough interest to have a town meeting, we will. We do not want to hold a town meeting and not receive a quorum.
right, because we have had that happen in years past.
Yeah, that has happened in the past. We lowered the quorum to 100. I don't want to go any lower than that, because then you get special interest groups that'll come in and pass whatever they want. 100 is pretty good. So I just want to make sure that what would be on our town meeting warrant would be enough interest to get those 100 people in.
Yeah. It would be nice if more people were interested in what was going on.
Well, it's a busy life today. I mean, everybody's running around doing what they can. They couldn't do anything for the last couple of years because of the COVID, but now they're out and about, and they're doing what they wanted to do or needed to do in the past couple of years. So,
Yeah. Well, that gets me here. You know, that's why I'm here. This is something I need to do.
there you go. Right, there you go. I mean, you enjoy this, and this is why I'm out here. One of my sons is a big oldies car fan. I mean, he's only in his 50s, but the fact is, he's around someplace, and I think I lost him. I don't know where he is, but I got his sheet so he can mark his preferences down for the cars and the categories. But when I find him, I'll say, okay, Peter, here's your list. Mark them down. So we'll do
So
that.
you think he's after something like an Edsel or maybe the old Chevy SS, the really big muscle car?
Well, he likes trucks, so he's probably looking at all the trucks because he's got a truck of his own. Not an antique truck, but that's what he drives, his truck. So he's into them.
Okay, well, trucks, cars, hot rods, everything is here. If you couldn't make it this year, keep an eye out on it for early October next year.
Yes, outstanding job, but done by all. Outstanding.
Okay, thanks a lot, Dan. It was
Okay.
good seeing you.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Well, we have here a guest who's standing in for the owner, Dwayne McGrath, talking about a nice little, almost said Chevy, Ford convertible behind us there with a lot of stickers on the underside of that hood.
That's places we were, or he was anyways. Yeah,
And who is the actual owner of the car?
he is. Ricky,
Ricky,
the big guy.
what's his last name?
Tutkus.
Ricky Totkis,
Yeah.
owner of a beautiful looking blue Ford Falcon?
Yep.
Falcon convertible.
Yeah. Sprint.
Sprint. That means it goes fast.
Yeah, it goes pretty good. Yeah.
So how long have you known Rick?
50 years, 52. All these guys, I've known them all just about for a long, long time.
And you come to these car shows and you kind of have a little inter-family reunion time?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, I ran into a cousin of mine. I didn't even know him. It's been so many years since I saw him. Oh, that was good. Yeah.
Well, thanks for giving me a little tour of the car here.
Thank you. It was good.
Just, you know, like the man says, Saoirse.
Yeah. What's that?
That's Gaelic for freedom.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Freedom. Now,
Well, you see,
we
with
could get-
an Irish wife myself and somebody who came from whose family came from bandit country,
Oh,
we know all of that stuff because she's constantly reminding us.
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, jeez. Unbelievable.
Okay, thanks again, Dwayne.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Now we can start talking about what we came here to see, the cars. And the first up is Lisa's twins.
Yes.
Like I like to call them her roller skates. But first of all, Lisa, who's this guy that kind of encroached on our interview here?
So this is my dad, Les Lucia. He's 81 years old. He is the original owner of this, one of my twins, my bad boy here. And finally, after 10 years of bugging him,
15 years, I think
15
it was.
maybe, he finally gave it up to me so that I could race this up at New England Dragway. So
It goes pretty fast, too, 120.
Was it really tough letting go of it?
It was tough giving it to her. Yeah, well, I hadn't used it for a long time, so it was okay.
So she's started racing it again?
Yeah.
And how has she been doing up there?
Well, she needs more practice, but she's coming along. I mean, it's only 2 years for you now, right? Yeah. That, I did it for 45, 50 years, so I was good at it. But
So what's her best time so far?
11.01, 122 and a half miles an hour. That's a pretty fast ride.
Hey, I can walk faster than that. So Lisa, how does it feel to be actually behind the wheel at the dragway?
Oh, it's awesome. I have waited for it for so long. It's exhilarating, but I love the whole strategy behind it.
And this car does little wheelies, too,
Yep.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Gets adrenaline going, but it keeps your brain going because, again, there's a strategy behind it between learning how to do a burnout, which is not as easy as people think, staging the car, getting it ready, and then watching your lights, and then hitting that green light, like, instantly. It's all the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And as far as the burnout, you can tell by the donut marks you see on the street that some people aren't ready to do that just yet, right?
Not at a racetrack, anyway. They might
need
be
to do it
amateurs.
straight on these cars, no circles.
Okay, now let's talk about the decorations you've got here, the costumes you've got your two cars in together.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
told me about this the last time I saw you, and I was having visions of the cars being tail to tail. You know, the Dr. Dolittle push me, pull you?
Yep.
And I was wondering, how can these two cars be sharks if they're back to back and trying to pull away from each other? They got no tail to maneuver with.
Yep.
But then I come up here and I see the final concept and I say, well, this is really something here.
Yeah, so these two bad boys here, they're hungry. They've been hungry. Of course, one is the race car. The other one is my 1986 IROC Camaro. And the two of them hungry. And there was an unfortunate soul that fell into their trap. So now the two of them are fighting over this poor soul.
This is not quite the fare you would expect to find on SpongeBob SquarePants.
Absolutely not. This is not for the what is it called? The weak of heart.
Maybe just the weak of mind, like most of us here, right?
Right. But it's definitely something that people expect to see at a Halloween-themed car show. So you want to make it worthwhile.
And it's come a long way from the first year when I met you, when you would just had a little bit of a cobweb on Junior over there.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. They've stepped up to, showing what they're really hungry for. Not spiders and cobwebs, but bodies.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. And tell me, are you in on the voting this year? Are you?
No, I'm not. My cars are just here for viewing pleasure and for excitement, but I'm not. I'm not a contender for any prizes out here today.
Okay, yeah, because this is a nice place to start off looking at the cars.
Yes.
This little diorama here, if you want to call it that.
Or people are when they start up the other area, the senior lot here at the high school. That is absolutely jam-packed with cars. They work their way up there, and then they come to the inner lot here, and that's where they see this display.
And then they go from here over to the food truck and get themselves fattened up, ready to be eaten by these guys, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, we have Mama Deb's here for second year in a row. She was here last year. Excellent Italian food. We have Dilly Donuts here today. This is his first year here.
Those things are good.
Those little homemade donuts are
good.
delicious. Hopefully he'll come back next year. And we have Justine Sweets. She is in Whitman, and she concentrates on sweets. So cookies and whoopie pies and cupcakes. So there's a little bit of taste for everybody here.
And a lot of calories.
A lot of calories, yes, and a lot of candy for the kids. But at the same time, you're doing a lot of walking, so you're walking them off.
And everybody always says the calories makes things taste better anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, especially on a day like this where it's all fun.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Lisa, and we'll be seeing you around town.
Yes, you will be. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you guys are here, and thank you again to everybody who worked towards the show. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and the final product, you can just see how much the community enjoys this. So we hope to have this again next year and the year after and the year after.
Okay, on to the next one. Okay, we have a 1967 Firebird. That's really a beautiful looking car.
Thank you very much.
Now, there is a story behind this. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
That was my brother's car. He drove that car for about 5 or 6 years, and it started to get a little rough, rusty. So we brought it home, and he stuck it in the garage, and he started collecting parts for it to redo it. Well, he never got the chance. He passed away, and I inherited a car, and this has been my project for about 15 years, and it's finally come to fruition. So it's done, and I'm happy about it.
What's your name, by the way? I forgot to ask you that when we started off.
Ed Reed.
Ed Reed.
Yeah.
And your pal over here is?
This is Jackie Viola.
Jackie, you were one of the ones that helped him work on this thing, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. He was in Easton in a barn. It'd been there for a lot of years, and it was all rusty. And every part that his brother could find, he brought it home and put. And he never got a chance. And so when he died, we had to go get a wrecker and tow it out of the building and brought it to Eddie's house on Thatcher Street in Broughton. And that's where it came. We started putting it piece by piece together. So after a while, and then I got a guy from Holbrook. He came down and he did the body work and everything. And he come back. I take him back and forth because he didn't drive. So I took him back and forth, and we painted the car up and everything. And we got it to where it is today. But it turned out real nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful looking car. Kind of a jigsaw puzzle, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
This is my daughter Joyce here, by the way.
Yes.
I was just going to ask her that, and you read my mind.
So my dad has 4 daughters, no sons. And I am the only one that is kind of a gearhead like my dad. And I appreciate all of these cars. We go out driving in the Firebird. I got married a couple years ago, and I drove it to my wedding with my dad with me, which was really
This
fun.
was going to the wedding? Or
Yeah, going to the wedding.
How did you manage to fit in with all that dress?
It was a little difficult. I kind of had to pull all the dress in, but we managed to get it in, and I drove, and my dad was he rode shotgun for me.
Shocked she wouldn't let you drive it to her wedding?
No.
She didn't want to be chauffeured to her own wedding.
No, she wanted to drive.
I drove it here today. So you ever see a witch driving a Firebird? It happened today.
Well, around here today, you could probably see a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, that's true. That could be.
Have you met Lisa Green?
I have. A couple of the car shows that I've been to with my dad, I've met her before, and I heard she put all this together, and she did a great job.
And she's a big gearhead, too.
Yes, she is. She is, yes. I never raced cars, but I drive them fast.
Well, this one looks like it could be going to the racetrack sometime, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. I drive it faster than my dad.
And you drive it faster than the cops, too, I guess.
Well, so far.
See, we can't use that as testimony, really, because,
no.
you know. Okay, well, thank you, gentlemen. It's been a
nice meeting
pleasure
you.
talking to you. It's a beautiful car.
Thank you very much.
And now I will get myself a few shots so we can see it without all the people in the way.
Okay.
Yep.
You got it. You got a deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 1. And please remember to vote under the loudest race car category in this matter of alcohol ban.
Mike, I will be.
Thank
I
you.
go sneaking down the Cape. The second,
Thank
the
you.
third, and the fourth. Coming back to fourth that night.
Oh, Lord, you got a whole bunch. I'll just take those.
I got those short
I'll be gone
straws.
2 weeks. 2 weeks I'll be doing nothing.
It'll be good, I know.
You know where you put these in? Right in here. Thank you. Thank you.
Here I am with Jack Smith, who had the #1 car in the loudest race car contest. How do you think you did today, Jack?
Hope I did well, first, second, or third, but it's for the fun of it. It's a good cause.
Well, first, second, or third, there were, what, 4 entries?
Yep.
So, I only heard 4 engines go.
Yeah. Paul's motor's pretty expensive. He didn't start that one. That's the funny car.
Well,
that
you know,
would have won loudest, without a doubt.
I think I've heard that one go before, and I probably would have, but you got to save the engines for the racing, right?
Yeah, that one, yeah, definitely. But that's definitely the fastest car here, too. So, good guy.
So what, I haven't even taken a look to see what the car actually is. What is it?
68 Camaro. Got a 406 stop block. It's about 650 horsepower. And 2-speed power glide, 5 grand stall converter. And 456 gears on a Dana 60 rear end.
I notice you've got a couple of numbers on the window over there. Is that 9.9 your fastest time?
Yeah, well, I just had the motor done over, so it might even go a little quicker than that. We'll find out. That's an index that they run with super gas.
Oh, okay, so the next time we see you, you may have a different number up there.
I may.
That's what you're hoping for, too, I'm sure.
Yeah, I like to keep it right at about 10 seconds even. That's a lot of fun without getting too expensive and too dangerous.
I notice there's a lot of guys over here that are the kind of guys that could give Lisa Green some tips on improving her speed up at the dragway.
Yeah, she's doing great. She did great this past year. She's right at 11.0. She's right breaking into the 10 seconds. And yeah, she has a lot of fun. And she puts on a great car show, too.
Yes, she does. It's been a fun time for me every time I've been here.
Yeah, it's my first time, and it's been great, and I will be back.
Well, Lisa, you've got 1 returner already. How about that? Okay, Jack, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We've just finished with the loudest car contest for the loudest race car, although one of them doesn't look an awful lot like a car, but it certainly sounded loud enough. And there's Rick Mercado. Rick.
Yeah.
You can't buy your teeth off the shelf. They just don't fit right. Rick Ricardo, beautiful canary yellow Chevy SS. How did you do in the contest, do you think?
I have no idea. I think I got probably second place maybe.
Okay.
But I feel Jimmy Reed with a black Corvette was the loudest.
Okay. Well, now there's somebody, an honest race car driver. How about that?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this car here. I mean, it is a beautiful. You can't call it a cherry car because it's yellow.
Yeah, right. And plus, this year I bought about 34 years ago as a car that's all stripped. And I built it from the ground up with all my friends here. And I spent a lot of money into it. And I wanted to go racing, so I did. So the car runs, in fact, the fastest gone last year was a 1087 at 132 mile an hour. You know?
Okay, that was up at New England Dragway?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I got all my friends here from Rebels and Rod who helped me a lot and to support me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who is this gentleman next to you here?
He's married to my wife.
He's married to your wife? Now that's a really strange sentence, isn't it?
Picked the wrong crowd to interview, but I'm Tim Balboni from Plymouth, Mass.
Tell me, is there actually a right crowd to interview around here?
I'm sure there is, but this isn't the one. No, all kidding aside, good guys.
Yeah.
Well, they were certainly very much rooting for you.
Yes, they were. No, because we're all good people here, and we're all having a lot of fun with all these guys who got cars here. You know, it's a lot of fun. Okay, you know, I enjoy coming here with the crew here and going to all kind of car shows. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's cheaper than going car shows than go racing.
Yeah, especially if you blow an engine, right?
Yeah. You know, so but we enjoy it. You know, these guys, they all support me, and we have a good crew here. You know,
just to let you know, I have a friend who does race down at New England Dragway, and he put a brand new engine in his car and blew it the first time he tried to race it.
I believe it. You know, I got about 10 grand into the engine here. So far, I've been together for almost 10 years, and so far, I'm happy. So,
well, good luck in all your racing activities.
Thank you very much. You know?
Thank you for talking to me, and you too. It's good to talk to you.
Thank you.
I have here with me one of the contestants in the loudest race car contest, and your name is?
Jimmy Reed.
Jimmy Reed from Reed's Automotive, I understand.
Correct. Yep.
On Temple Street in Whitman.
Whitman. Yep.
Boy, how do you like that? Temple Street, Brockton. It's only on the line, so you got to forgive me for saying
we'll
Brockton.
Give it to you. Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, tell me a little bit about this beautiful car over here.
Well, it's a recreation of a car my father and his friend Les Lucia had way back in the day that I grew up in when I was a little kid going to the races. And when they sold the original car, I always said I want to either find the original car or recreate one. And I was fortunate enough a few years back to come across the body, and I recreated the car back to visually what the original car was, but all modern powertrain and correct suspension and everything for modern day racing.
And I notice you've got Les Lucia's name over the driver's door here. Is your father's name on the other side?
No, because it's just the only thing different is my name on the door from what the original car. My father's name wasn't on the original car.
Okay.
But Les
well, that answers me. I love that hood though. It looks like the elevator in a parking garage.
Yeah, I just made those little brackets up just to hold the hood open. So.
And you did make a lot of noise when you started this thing up just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, it makes some pretty good noise. Yeah. Yeah, it's got a good bark to it.
Tell me, where did the California Corvette name come from?
When Les came back from California in the early 60s with the car, it still had California plates on it. And when they were running at the races, the announcer always used to say, "Here's the Corvette from California." And then it just kind of got the name from there, and it just kind of stuck with it.
And it's still sticking with it.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, well, good luck. We're waiting for them to tally up the votes now to see who actually has the fastest car out here. Okay. Good luck to you, Jim.
Hey, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Have a good day.
Onward. Here is one of the decorated vehicles for Halloween here at the Great Pumpkin Car Show. Phil Nicholson, what is that vehicle behind us?
That's my big Jeep. It's called Luminous. I had it named from the barber lady that works over in Pembroke. She said, "Which Jeep you're bringing with you, the little one or Luminous?" And I says, "What do you mean Luminous?" She says, "The one with all lights on it." And there you go. That's how it started.
And you do have quite a few lights wired up on there right now, don't you?
Yes, I do. Dave's Auto hooked me up, and he hitched up all the lights for me because I'm not that talented on the wiring.
Yeah, I have seen some interesting wiring configurations on some YouTube videos. They've got wires running in places where they really shouldn't have them, like across exhaust pipes.
Yes, that's why I had it done professionally. That's not my forte.
See, guys, if you have it done professionally, you can get it done right. Tell me a little bit about what the decorations are that you have on there.
Well, I have skeletons running up the lines that I have to protect the rest of the lights. If I go off-roading in for tree branches, I have skeletons on those. I have a guy that shakes. It's handcuffed onto my front there, and the headlights are painted by the art lady at the Carver High School art teacher. She painted one. She couldn't get back to the other one, so I brought it to another lady that was a professional, very talented at artwork, and she copied the other one.
Okay, you're starting to get a little bit behind me here, not being able to see you. Okay, and you've got the one that you call Dustin Pedroia. Describe him a little bit.
Oh, it's a skeleton. I got him in the back seat of the car. I have a Dustin Pedroia. I used to be a big fan of his, and when he got hurt, and I went to the whole 2018 series games when they won the pennant or the World Series title, and I used to be a big fan, and actually he got hurt, and after that year the team seemed to never recover. So I have a skeleton decorated in his honor because of that.
Well, that's the kind of thing that all of us die-hard Red Sox fans for decades know to be the usual, right?
Correct. Correct.
Okay, well, you've got a wonderful little decorated vehicle up there. Good luck with it, and thank you for talking to me.
Thank you very much. You have a nice day.
So we have first place for best race car. Car number 53, Jim Reed Jr.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Second place, car number 13, Jack Smith. Third place is car number 30, Rick Ricardo. Thank you guys all for bringing these cars out. I know it's a lot of work, and we truly, truly appreciate it. Okay, we're going to start with the decades. All right, we're going to start off, because these are the numbers that we have first, with decade 1960 through 1969. In third place, car number 125, Ed Reed. Second place, car number 12, Larry Russo. And by the way, these were all by ballot, by people's choice, so no, it is not fixed. And we have our first place winner in 1960 to 1969, car number 44, Tim Ballor. Okay, so we're moving into the 1970 through 1979 category. At third place, car number 120, Chris Kearns. We have our second place, car number 44, Tim Fowler.
Let's try it again. Thank you, young man. Appreciate it.
Okay, and first place is car number 23, D. Nadia. There we go. Okay, next category is 1980 to 1989. We have third place, car number 77, Jim and Louise. Second place, car number 32, Bill Donovan.
Not by much. Boring game.
All right, first place, 1980 to 1989 is car number 14, Stephen Torrey. Okay, so we're moving to categories 1990 to the 2000s. Third place is car number 33. Car number 33. Okay, second place, car 172, Chris Kearns. Okay, first place, 1990 to 2000s, car number 22, Artie Tebow. Okay, so we're going to move on to the best decorated car. That's one car that was decorated for Halloween. Okay, so best decorated car. Third place goes to car 121, Bill Nickerson. All right, so best decorated, we'll move to second place. It's car number 48, Ron and Janine. Okay, first place, best decorated car. Car number 62, Ken Teralt. Okay, so now we're moving on to 1950 to 1959. All right, third place, 1950 to 1959, we have car number 117, Don Kennedy. Okay, second place, we have car number 131, Kyle Colligan.
Dan. I think it's Dan. There you go, Dan. Hi, you got third place? It's a friend of mine. Okay. But I'll get it. Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks.
Do we have car number 131 here? Does anybody know Kyle? Thank you. Okay, first place, car number 144, Steve Mayer.
Thank you.
Okay, we're moving on to 1940 to 1949. Third place, car number 36, Bob Gunther.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Second place, we have car number 113, Reno.
Sweet brother.
Okay, first place, 1940, 1949. Car number 29, Bruce Hammond. So category 1900 to 1939. In third place, car number 27, Ron Clark.
Go get him, big dog. Go get him, baby.
Okay, second place, car number 122, Art Magden, M-A-C-F-A-G-E-N. Car number 122. Okay, and then first place goes to car number 29, Bruce Hammond. Okay, 1900 and 1939, car number 143.
Thank you. This car's 1990 to 1990.
But next year we're going to have
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 123.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the best interest. So this is actually a category that a car or a vehicle didn't fit into any of the other categories. All right, so special interest, we're going to start with the first place on that is a 1965 Checker, car number 154, owned by Jerry LaPierre. All right, second place, special interest category, number 82, 2018 Polaris Slingshot, Melissa Clark. Catwoman, come on up. Okay, and then third place in that category of special interest, car number 54, a 1937 Fiat Topoline, owned by Ken Lassard. Come on up. So we're going to do best of show. Okay, best of show. Car number 192, 2020 Ford Explorer, owned by Colleen Ford.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and again, thank you all for coming out. Hopefully we'll have a day next year just as good as this year. We'll see you next year. Thank you so much for coming out, and thank you for your patience.
Well, here we are with the best of show, Colleen Ford, and it is a Ford Explorer. So tell me, any relation to the Ford family?
Unfortunately, no.
Okay, what year is it?
It's a 2020.
2020, and I don't think people can see because the light isn't changing, that the color on this car changes as light hits it from different angles.
It does, yes. It changes from green to purple.
So is that a big extra?
It is, yes. Yeah.
And you had to have the fancy colors, right?
Of
We
course.
actually got the car like that.
We did.
That was when we bought it. So I work for a dealership and we bought it in wholesale. Because of the paint, we wouldn't resell it, so we bought it before it went to auction.
Well, you must have got a pretty good deal out of it then, huh?
Good deal, absolutely.
And with a growing family, you've got lots of space in there.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Space to grow into.
Exactly.
Room for one more.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just hold that up and let me read exactly what it says on here. Best of show, Great Pumpkin Classic Car Show, October 2022, Hanson, Mass. All I can say to you now is congratulations. It's a beautiful, beautiful SUV.
Thank you very much.
It's a lot of fun to drive.
Especially when you go off-roading, right?
Yeah. It's more built for speed than off-roading.
Well, you know, you can have either good off-road or good speed. How do you get both?
Bigger tires on this thing, I guess.
Be a good place to start.
Okay, thank you so much, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
We have with us another trophy winner. This was the unclassified category, correct?
Correct.
Because it's kind of hard to put a car like you've got into the normal American car categories, right?
Correct. That's very true. Yes.
Okay, now tell me why.
Well, it's kind of a mix where it's an antique, a foreign car that's turned into a drag race car. So that doesn't really fit into most of the classes.
I can't think of any class that would fit into, especially knowing that, you know, the Fiat, especially this one, is really kind of small. It's almost just a two-passenger when it was originally built, right?
It was, yes, yep. And a lot of people mistake it for a Volkswagen, an old Volkswagen, something like that, because they've never seen one. So,
of course, now they're mistaking it for the new Fiat 500,
which is basically a knockoff of this.
Exactly.
The original.
So you are an original guy whose car is being copied, and you have changed it into something it was never intended to be.
Correct, pretty much, yes.
Because I noticed the wheels on it don't look like they came with that at all, any of them.
No, it was meant to replicate an old gas or drag race car. So that was the theme I used to build the car.
And those rear wheels really look like they're going to hold the road for that drag, huh?
Yeah, well, they're a little tricky in the rain, but other than that, they work fine.
So what have you got in it for an engine?
350 Chevrolet, and it's, pumped up a little bit for fun and pretty basic car.
Only a little bit?
Yeah, well, it's got a lot of changes as far as internals and things like that.
Of course, it's a lot lighter than most of the other cars you see at the drag races, isn't it?
Well, it comes in around 2,200 pounds right in there, so it is light. Yeah.
And 2,100 of that is the engine, right?
Yeah, that's true. Correct.
This wouldn't actually be, is this actually a street legal car? Here I am stumbling over what I want to ask.
But actually, yeah, I've got everything working, the directionals and high beam, low beam, the emergency brake, and the required equipment.
Yeah. What do you have? Do you have any special fuel system on there?
No, it's just, it'll run on regular gas. Yeah, it's just the chassis I built myself. The front end had to be narrowed, the rear end had to be narrowed, disc brakes front and rear, and an electronic overdrive transmission and things like that to make it get around.
Have you done much racing with it?
None at all. Nope, not at all.
None at all? No. You should be taking this up New England Dragway. You'd walk away with everything, I think.
Well, no, those guys that's an expensive hobby. That's why I'm just replicating it.
Oh, okay, so, well, it looks good anyway.
Thank you
and
very
I
much.
Love the name on it. You want to tell people what it says?
Well, the name I put on is Atomic Mouse. And so the Fiat Topolino meaning mouse in Italy, that's what they nicknamed it, the little mouse. So I went back to the era of the atomic age to use that theme.
Yeah. That's even smaller than Topo Gigio.
There you go. Whatever that means in Italian.
Well, I don't know, but I figured Topo must be mouse in Italian because that was the little mouse that used to be on the Ed Sullivan Show all the time.
Yeah, and that was before Mickey Mouse. So they had the atomic mouse. So it grew from that.
Well, even Mickey has had changes over the years.
This is true. Very much so.
So it's great. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'll be looking forward to see you leaving some rubber going down down Franklin Street away from the school this afternoon.
No, none of that. No, I respect the show.
Okay. All right, thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye. All of you folks around Whitman and Hanson should recognize this guy, Michael Ganshert, president of Dollars for Scholars, and you've been here working your tail off all day long.
I have put in a lot of steps, if that's what they say, yes, because it's a big campus, the high school campus, and we had cars all over the place, people parking all over the place, so we were trying to manage it as best we can, crowd control.
I mean, I know there were a lot of cars I didn't see, and of course, then again, I've had to stop and talk to a lot of folks too, which...
I believe that. Yeah, no, I didn't really, if you're going to ask me what my favorite car was, I don't know if I could say this year, because I really didn't have a lot of time to evaluate the cars and vote for the cars, but anyway, it was a very good event.
Yeah. I don't think I could have picked a favorite. I had several that I would have said, yeah, these are part of the category, but one I don't think I could have done.
I do like the Catwoman one. She was back again this year. She was in our last one. But overall, I think it was a very good representation of the community and the car community as well.
Yeah, it was, and they're almost all out of here now. You might hear one or two little ones going in the background.
Yeah, that's not my stomach growling, no, that's right.
I just have to ask you, you also had the raffle here today. How did that go?
I think it went very well. We had about 18 different raffle prizes. I haven't counted the cash yet, so we'll know at the end of the night, but I think it did very well.
Okay, and you didn't have anybody saying, what happened? I didn't know we were doing this.
No, I think when the band was in their little break period, I'm saying we tried to make an announcement so people could come up here and try to get their entries in, so...
The only thing I would say for next year, I don't know if this is even possible to do, have satellite speakers out there.
That's not a bad idea. We will investigate that, as well as maybe even some shuttle transportation from the lower area parking lot to the upper parking lot. It is a long walk if you're not used to walking that kind of distance.
Maybe you can borrow a couple of the studio tour buses from Universal Studios in Hollywood.
Oh, that's true, and a couple of the stars too. That would help drive the traffic.
Yes. Okay. Well, congratulations, Mike.
Thank you.
Put put on a good job here. You and Lisa and everybody all did a great job today. And what more can we say?
Look forward to next year. How was that? Thank you.
Look forward to next year.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have
Mike.
a good one. Yep.
Bye. Well, the Great Pumpkin Classic Car Show is over for another year, and it was a great day. There were a lot of cars here, a lot of people. Everybody had a really good time. I only wish I'd been able to see more of the cars around, but when you're doing interviews with people, that does take some time to do. So if you've missed this year's Great Pumpkin Classic Car Show, keep your eyes peeled for next October when it comes around again. Come down, look at the cars, have fun. It's a great time.